Hello, welcome to this full moon yoga practice. So this is an interesting full moon because it's also a lunar eclipse, which means that instead of celebrating the moon's light, it's more, I guess, asking the moon for its light to prevail. So we're going to be saluting the light, welcoming in the light, instead of celebrating the darkness, which is what the lunar eclipse brings in. So to begin, we're just going to close our eyes for a minute, placing our hands down. We want to ground the energy. So in lunar eclipses, in full moons, we really want to be grounding our energy down into the ground, because it's very easy to become kind of floaty or hyper or a little bit high. The energy is high, so we want to ground that energy down into the ground, imagining that there are little roots coming out of our feet, out through our knees as we're sitting down. So you can roll back the shoulders, tucking your chin in slightly. We're going to bring the attention to the breath, so inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. One more, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. One more time, inhaling through the nose, relaxing the abdominal muscles, and exhaling through the mouth, allowing everything to kind of sink down towards the ground. You can keep going in your own breath. So we're just spending a few breaths here, just grounding ourselves, visualizing our energy going down through our body and into the earth. It's important also to set an intention. I would say, before everything that we do, but also in yoga classes, it's a really nice time to set an intention for the practice. What would we like to achieve, or what would we like to feel after the practice? So with the full moon energy, our intention is to let light, to let love, to let compassion prevail through these darker times. Our intention is to ground our energy down, to keep our hearts open, to not give in to chaos or not get involved in drama or chaos. Perfect. So we're going to open our eyes. We're staying here. We're going to do our cat-cows in this position. So inhale, we're bringing the hands, opening them wide out. We're arching into the spine slightly, maybe looking towards the ground or up towards the ceiling. Really reaching out with our fingertips, feeling the stretch in our upper body, widening those shoulders out. And then exhale, we're going to bring the chin towards the chest and the palms together. And then inhale, we're bringing the hands back out, opening our chest, opening the arms, maybe closing the eyes as you do this slight arch in the back here. And then exhale, bringing the palms together, curling into the spine, reaching the fingertips away from us. Taking one breath here. And then on your next inhale, opening the hands out. We're just going to do this one more time, arching into the back, opening out like you're ready to give someone a really big hug. Your eyes are excited to see the person. Your heart is exploding with anticipation and joy and love. And then exhale, bringing the palms together, bringing the chin down towards the chest, looking towards the navel. The fingertips are reaching away from you. And then inhale again back to our neutral spine. Perfect. So we're going to just come onto our hands and knees here. And we're going to tuck the toes underneath, lifting up into our downward dog. So the heels The hips come up into the sky, heels come down towards the ground. You can have a slight bend in your knee. Your chest is gonna pull itself or push itself towards the toes. Let's just walk our dog. So bending into one knee, bending into the other knee, moving the hips around, just making some intuitive movements here as we warm up the hamstrings. And then we're going to step slowly to the top of the mat. So once we're all the way up, just hanging for a couple of breaths in our ragdoll. So either leaving your hands as they are or just bringing them onto your opposite elbows, letting your head hang heavy, chin gets tucked into the chest here, gravity is taking over as it gently pulls your upper body down towards the ground. And then inhale, bringing the hands down and rolling up to standing. Shoulders rolled back, standing up nice and tall in our mountain pose. So first we're going to salute the sun. So we're saluting light, saluting the day, and then we're going to salute the moon, the light of the moon specifically. So squeezing in the bum, lifting up through the knees. Our feet are grounded into the ground, pushing down on all four corners, rolling the shoulders back, growing tall out of the crown of the head. Inhaling here and exhaling here. All of the muscles are engaged, squeezing everything together, activating those fingertips. One more breath here. And then inhale, we're going to lift the hands up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And exhale, we're folding forward. Bending into the knees. Inhale for your flat back or halfway lift. Hands come to your shins. And exhale, bring the hands down, step back into your plank. From here, you're going to bring your knees down, chest and chin, or else you're going to come through your Chaturanga, which is bending the elbows. Inhale for your cobra or your up dog. And exhale for your downward dog. Maybe readjusting the feet. Bending into the knees. And then inhale again. We'll take some baby steps to come to the top of the mat. Once we're at the top, we're taking our halfway lift again, so bringing the hands, pressing them into the shins. Exhale for your forward fold. And inhale, rolling up to standing, bringing the hands up overhead and down through your Anjali Mudra, through your prayer pose, and down by your side, finding yourself back in your mountain pose. So let's do that one more time. Inhale, bringing the hands up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale for your halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins in your flat back. And exhale, step back into your plank. Holding plank just for one breath. Inhale here. And then exhale, coming down through your knees, chest, chin, or your Chaturanga. Inhale for up dog or cobra. And exhale for downward dog. Alrighty, we're going to take some baby steps. So inhaling, taking your baby steps to the top of the mat. Once you're here, finding your flat back position again, pressing into your shins. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale to rise. Stretch your hands up overhead and then come down through your Anjali Mudra and into your mountain pose. Perfect. So starting our moon salutations. So we're just going to turn to face the side of the mat. So again, tucking everything in, tucking the tailbone down, lifting out of the chest. All of our muscles are engaged, the shoulders are back. And you can have your feet together here, or you can have them hip width distance apart, so hip bones, finding your hip bones, and then your feet are directly underneath your hip bones. So from here, inhaling, we're lifting the hands up, Bringing the palms together, you can interlace the fingers, just having the index finger facing upwards, lifting out of the chest. And then inhaling here, exhale, we're gonna lean towards the side. Inhale, coming back to center, and then exhale, leaning over towards the other side, stretching into the side body, using the strength of the core. Inhale, coming back. From here, we're going to open out into a goddess pose, so taking a wide stance. The hands are going to cactus down as we also sink the hips directly underneath us. So we're sitting down in a seat that is directly underneath our bum, cactusing the arms out, shoulders are pushing back. Maybe coming up off one heel, maybe coming off another heel, testing the balance here. For 3, for 2, and 1. Beautiful. Lifting right out of that, we're going to straighten the hands, pivoting on the front foot so it's facing towards the side of the room, and on the back foot it's facing to the back edge of the mat. We're going to take a Trichonasana here, so inhale, leaning forward, leaning over that back foot, and then exhale, we're going to bring that back hand down and the front hand lifts up towards the ceiling, opening up the chest, looking up towards the sky, not putting too much weight on that lower hand, maybe testing it out, removing it. If you have the space, you're going to sink down towards the mat, trying to keep the tailbone tucked in, and then inhaling. Again, we're going to turn and come into a pyramid pose, so you can bring your hands down. The front foot, or the back foot now, is coming into a diagonal, so you can shift forward to shorten the stance. Your back hip is facing forward, your front hip is pulling backwards. Inhaling here, coming into a halfway lift, and exhale, folding over that front leg. So you can have your hands on the mat, or you can have them on your hips, and you're just concentrating on bringing that back hip forward and the front hip back. So stretching into the hamstrings, maybe wiggling from side to side. Relaxing the head. Perfect. And then we're going to come into a low lunge. So bringing that back knee down towards the ground. Checking that the joints are stacked one on top of each other. You can untuck the back toe and you're squeezing the back glute, sinking down into your low lunge. Inhale, lifting the hands up, and exhale, sitting down a little bit more. Squeezing into that back glute, feeling the stretch in your hip flexors. We'll just take 2 more breaths here, and 1 more. Perfect. We're going to come into Skandasana on the back edge of the mat. So we're just pivoting over, lifting off that back heel. The back foot is towards the corner of the mat. And then we're bringing the hands up. The front foot is flexed up towards the ceiling, lifting from the chest. You can also bring that back heel down to the mat if you have the space in your hips. Staying here, finding your balance. And then we're going to change sides. So going on to Skandasana on the opposite foot. So lifting off and coming onto the toes of the front foot this time. The back foot is flexed up towards the ceiling, finding your balance for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to turn and come into low lunge on this side, dropping the back knee down, untucking the back toes, stacking the joints one on top of each other. Inhale, lifting the hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, sinking down into those hips, squeezing into the back glute. Holding it here. For 3. Sinking a little bit deeper for 2. And 1. Beautiful. Going to bring the hands down, coming up into pyramid on this side. So just lifting off the back knee, maybe hopping slightly forward. The left foot is in the diagonal out towards the side. Straightening into that front leg, pulling that front hip back and the back hip forward. Inhaling in your halfway lift. And exhale, we're going to fold over that front leg. The chin gets tucked into the chest. And again, just making sure to keep the hips squared by pulling the front hip forward. Or sorry, the front hip gets pulled backwards and the back hip gets pulled forward. And then on your next inhale, we're lifting out of the pyramid pose and coming into Trichonasana. So maybe widening the stance. You're going to keep that front leg straight, lifting the hands up, parallel, inhaling, reaching forward, bringing the hand down in front of the leg, and the back hand comes up towards the ceiling. Maybe sinking down a little bit lower, looking up towards the sky. And then on your next inhale, we're coming all the way up and coming into our goddess pose again. So the feet are facing the corners of the mat. Inhale here, cactusing the arms, and exhale, we're sitting down in our goddess pose. Smiling, tucking the tailbone in, squeezing the elbows back and open, sitting down a little bit more. And then inhale, we rise. We're going to step to the top of the mat. 2 feet. Inhale, lift the hands up. And exhale, bend to the side. Inhale again, lifting the hands up. And exhale, we lean to the other side. Inhale again, back to center. And exhale, drop the hands down. So we're just going to do that a little bit faster this time. So inhale, bringing the hands up. Exhale, reaching over to the left side. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, leaning towards the right, stretching into that side body. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, we're stepping to the side. Inhale here. Exhale, sitting down into our goddess pose, maybe coming a little bit deeper. Bringing those elbows back behind us. Taking one more breath here. And then inhale, coming out, extending the arms, coming into our Trichonasana. So inhale, reaching forward, and exhale, bringing the hand down and up. Chest is open towards the ceiling. Inhale, coming back out. We're going to twist to the side or to the back of the mat, coming into our pyramid pose, readjusting the feet, squaring off the hips. Inhale here. And exhale, fold forward. Maybe keeping your hands on your hips, maybe dropping them down to the ground. Bringing the back hip back, front hip forward. Sorry, the opposite way. Front hip back, back hip forward. Perfect. Then we're going to drop the knee down to the ground, coming into our low lunge on your next inhale, bringing the hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, sinking down a little bit lower. Perfect. On our next inhale, we're pivoting on that back foot, pivoting on that right foot or front foot, getting our balance, taking our hands into prayer, lifting from the chest. And then we're going to switch to Skandasana on the other side. So using our leg muscle strength, breathing here. And then we're going to turn into our low lunge with our right knee, untucking the back toes. Inhale, lifting the hands up. Exhale, sinking lower into the hips. Inhale, we're going to bring the hands down and step up into our pyramid pose. So extending into that front leg, maybe hopping to bring that back leg into the diagonal. Inhale, halfway lifting here. And exhale, folding over the right leg. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. Chin comes in towards the chest. On your next inhale, we're rising up, getting ready for our Trichonasana. So straightening into that front leg. Inhale here, stretching forward, and exhale, dropping the right hand down. Left hand comes up. Looking up towards the ceiling. And then on your next inhale, rising all the way up, we're going to get ready for our goddess pose. So the feet come out to the corner edges of the mat. Inhale here. And then exhale, we're cactusing the arms out, sitting down in our seat, getting the tailbone tucked in towards the ground. Legs are squeezing together, sit a little bit deeper down. And then on your next inhale, we're rising up and stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale here, lift the hands up. And then exhale, leaning over to the right. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, leaning to the left. Inhale, rising again. And exhale, bring the hands down. Perfect. We're going to step to the top of the mat. From here, we're inhaling, lifting the hands up, stretching up, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, leaning forward, chin comes into the chest. Inhale for your halfway lift. Either have your hands on the mat or on your shins, pushing the shins or the mat away, coming into your flat back. Exhale, bring the hands down, stepping back into plank. From here, coming into your Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, come down to the mat. And then inhale for your Cobra or your up dog. And exhale for your downward dog. Perfect. Inhale, right leg rises. Open it out in your scorpion tail. So you're bending into the knee, opening that hip, opening the knee out towards the ceiling, maybe looking at your foot underneath your arm. And then we're going to drop that right leg to the far side. So bringing it down to the ground, extending into the left leg, bringing the hips down. Bringing the hips down first, and then inhale, we're lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Your hand comes to your chest or over the top of your head. So you're really picking those hips up towards the sky, staying strong in your left hand. Wild thing. And then we're coming back round into your three-legged dog. And then we're going to bring that knee down to the back of the right wrist, coming into a pigeon pose, slithering or sliding all the way down. Checking that your back leg is straight. Inhale, lengthening into the spine, and then exhale, coming down in your pigeon pose. Either staying up on your arms or your forearms, or else dropping your forehead down. And then coming back to the breath. One more breath here. And then we'll come back into our downward dog. So the toes get tucked under in the back. Lift the right knee off the ground, right foot, readjusting your feet. Pushing back in your downward dog. Heels come down towards the mat. And then your left leg will rise up towards the ceiling. And then we'll bend the left knee, opening the hip. Opening the knee up towards the sky a little bit more, checking your foot underneath your right armpit perhaps. And then we're going to bring that foot down to the side or down underneath. Bring the hips down, we're straightening into that right leg. And then inhale, picking the hips back up. Maybe having your hand on your chest or over the top of your head. Opening the chest up towards the sky. Lifting those hips up a little bit more. And then coming back into your downward dog, your three-legged downward dog. From here, we're bending that knee, bringing it behind your left wrist, coming all the way down. Inhale here, straightening from the chest, and then exhale, we'll fold forward. Maybe your head comes down to the ground. Maybe you're staying up on your forearms. So opening up those hips a little bit more, stretching into the sides of the legs. Stretching into the hip flexor. Perfect. We'll tuck the right toes under. Inhale, bring the hands back to your body. And then we'll come back into our downward facing dog. Beautiful. Press the chest back towards the feet. And then we'll bring the knees onto the ground. Bring your bum onto your heels and bring your head down to the mat. Maybe your forehead and hands come onto the ground as well.
So coming back into the breath. Taking one more breath here. And then we'll come onto our bums, lying all the way down onto the mat. We're gonna hug the knees into towards the chest, just giving your back a little massage, making some circles one way and making some circles the other way. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet down. Let's shimmy the hips over towards the right side. We're gonna drop the knees down towards the left. You can bring the arms out beside you in a T. So just coming into a gentle supine twist here, spinal twist. You can look up towards the ceiling or out over your right fingertips, keeping your eyes closed. Quietening your mind, calming your breath, letting your body melt into the ground. Imagining that there's little roots that are coming down from your arms, from your legs, from your back, body, your feet, through your mat, through the ground, into Mother Earth. Giving you that grounding energy, that sense of calm, that sense of peace. And then inhale, we'll bring the knees back to center. We're going to shimmy the hips over towards the left side this time and drop the knees over towards the right. And again, just closing your eyes, either looking up towards the ceiling or over your left fingertips, keeping your shoulders on the ground. So full body twist from your left shoulder or your shoulders, twisting all the way down into your knees, into your feet, twisting through the back body. So releasing any stress, releasing any tension, any emotions, stagnant energy that we don't need anymore, that we're allowing to let go through the breath. Perfect. On your next inhale, bringing your knees back up to center, and then we're just going to straighten the legs, bring the hands back next to your body. Just placing one hand on your tummy and one hand over your heart. Breathing down into the belly, in Shavasana now. So just paying attention to how you feel over the next few days as the moon energy is at its coming towards its strong point and is still lingering until Sunday, 2 days after the full moon and 2 days before. So if you feel a little bit out of sorts, a bit heavy, tired, those are all completely normal. Those are all completely normal. Maybe jotting them down. Maybe you can write in the comments as well if you do feel anything. I'd love to hear. I feel tired. I actually just started my moon cycle as well, so this could also be an added thing, an added feeling. So yeah, a bit tired, a little bit moody, a bit heavy and groggy. But it's a time of rest as well. And we're just setting the intention for the collective to, just be peaceful and light, to invite the light to come back in, invite love to come back in after the lunar eclipse. No need to set any manifestations or have any manifestations over the next few days until the moon energy has moved. And just being kind to yourself, to others, showing gratitude, saying thank you a lot, as many times as possible. Alrighty, we're going to stretch the arms up overhead. You can stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer if you wish. So you can pause the video if you'd like to stay for a little bit longer. Otherwise, we're just pointing the toes, bringing the hands up overhead, and then we're going to just bring the legs over towards the left side and the hands over to the left side as well. So in the same direction. So this is like a crescent moon shape or banana shape, but I like the crescent moon, seeing as we're doing a moon inspired yoga practice. We're just stretching from the tops of our fingers along our side body. And then we'll just move over and repeat it on this opposite side. So the right hand's stretching over towards the right, the feet stretching over towards the right as well, stretching into that side body here, into your arms, into your legs. Full body stretch. And then we'll come back to center. You're going to roll over onto your left side, onto your yin side, your moon side, your dark side, your water side, your chaotic side, your feminine side. So these are all some of the things that you might feel over the next few days. And then when you're ready, coming back up to your seated position, you can close down the eyes again, take your hands into the center of your chest and bowing your head slightly, maybe touching off your chin with your fingertips. Saying a little thank you to yourself for practicing here. To your body, to your mind, to your breath, to your spirit. Thank you to Mother Earth, to Father Sky, to the sun and the moon, everything in between. So we're just going to bring the hands back down onto our knees. You can open your eyes. I thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, so hopefully you can do this around the full moon, and if it's not this full moon, it can be next full moon or any full moons in the future, or just a general practice as well. It's always nice to be saluting the moon energy as well, or the light, the brightness of the moon energy in this case. So yeah, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel for more. I love these kind of themed yoga practices, so the more kind of practices I can be inspired by, or the events that are happening that I can be inspired by, the better. And also, if you have any suggestions for yoga classes that you would like to practice with me, please write it in the description. And yeah, I will see you next time.